Are you ready to reconnect with your womb and your body to live with more ease and flow? Nicole Pemberton from The Goddess Moves is here to share her wisdom. Midlife butterfly, a woman in the sacred in-between. She's not who she once was and not quite who she's becoming yet. She's unraveling, awakening, remembering. She's navigating life transitions, divorce, loss, reinvention, moves, with a burning desire for freedom, joy, and soul-led living. She feels the pull to rise, to fly. She is no longer afraid of her own wings. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Midlife Butterfly podcast. This is your host, Kenna Siu, and we have a super goddess in here with us today. She's a sister and also a mentor from Temple Body Arts. We met actually there, and I am so glad to bring her here today to share about all her wisdom. She has so many trainings and certifications. Nicole Pemberton, and we're going to talk mainly about the womb and femininity and whatever else it flows. Mm-hmm. So, Nicole, welcome. And Nicole is the creatrix of The Goddess Moves. She supports multidimensional women to cultivate deep self-awareness, inner harmony, and develop a loving relationship with their womb, space, and body, so that they can break free from overwhelm, burnout, and embody more luxurious vitality, clarity, healing, joy, and peace. And among the whole list of certifications and wisdom that she has gained, she's a womb priestess, sacred activist, a master alchemical movement and ritual facilitator. She's a writer, mentor, speaker, mystic channel, a certified Akashic Records reader, Reiki and crystal energy practitioner, certified trauma-informed practitioner, as I mentioned before, a temple body priestess and mentor, and the list goes on. And I'm going to share her details in the show notes so you can, dig in more in case you're interested after this wonderful conversation that is coming through. So Nicole, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here, sister.
It's awesome to be here and just be in this sacred temple space.
Yes, thank you. Well, I would like you to start with where your story starts and how the Goddess Moves was born.
Oh, goodness. Where my story starts?
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, whatever is more, relevant to where you are and the wisdom that you share to helping women to reconnect to their womb and their bodies.
Yeah, it's really interesting to, just be present with what is now, and then also to recognize the journey, because I've been presently, I think, for held space and facilitated movement journeys for over 250,000 humans, children, adults, being a professional dancer at a time, and holding space for hundreds of women to really be in their liberation and create their own path to power and know the resources and have hope to bring balance and nourishment and sovereignty to the womb space. It's quite a something to say that this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like this before. It wasn't to be in a space of leadership. I never, at one point I never wanted to be in front, and I never wanted to be the leader. And this work really brought me literally on a steel sheet. It brought me on a steel table sheet. And it was, um, there's fluorescent lights everywhere. And, looking around and there's people just moving about and, and just being busy. And then I'm seeing steel instruments, and then I see a person with a mask, saying, "Hi, Nicole, this is so and so. I'm your anesthesiologist. I'm going to count from 10 to 1, and we're going to support, we're going to do what we need to do." And so in that moment, it got very, very real that these instruments were going to be the instruments that were going to cut into my uh, into my belly and take out benign tumors from my uterus. And in that moment, when they were saying, "Okay, we're going to count down from 10 to 1," I was just
Oh my
praying
God.
that my uterus was going to be intact, and there was a possibility that I could wake up without one. And I was in that moment with like, this is just like surrender. This just told us I can't go anywhere again. And like, there's no backing out. It's here it is. And
Yeah.
they say 10, 9, 8, and a 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and I'm out.
Oof.
And I made a prayer before I was out to just like, please, let me just wake up. Let everything go well. Let them do what they need to do, and let me keep my uterus.
Mm.
And so when I woke up, I was hearing babies. I was literally hearing cries of babies. And I
Ah.
realized later, they told me that I was in the cesarean ward on another side. They had run out of room, and I'm on this. I'm on the one far side, and then on the other side, babies were being born. And as I'm waking up, and I'm realized, okay, yes. And then they told me, yes, they got everything out. Took a little longer than they thought, but they got everything out. And in that moment, I realized that, this, I was forever changed. This process of really under tuning into my womb, my belly, like what the belly button below the uterus and all the processes it does, and all the experiences that I went through to get to that landed me in that space. I realized in that moment that my womb was going to be one of my greatest teachers.
Mm.
And it inspired to share about the experience, but also for advocate for um, the womb wellness, and also the the cycles of our bodies, and that, and offer hope of other resources that can help to bring harmony, bring easeful menstrual cycles, to release energy, like create a nourished environment for our bodies, so that we can be in a thriving state. Um, when somebody told me that my menstrual cycle was not, I was not supposed to have pain, I thought he was a unicorn. I was like, yeah, get out of here. That doesn't exist. And
Mm.
little did I know that there's so much that in this rite of passage of the feminine and being a woman, and really advocating and standing for our bodies. A lot wasn't told, and it wasn't, to the fault of anyone. It's just that our society really does, it does, it's like, put it away,
Mm.
fold it neatly, keep it clean, and don't tell anybody.
Oh my God, so true.
And it's such a disservice for a body that is responsible for humanity, for creation
Mm,
of our human existence. Why wouldn't
yes.
we want to protect, nourish, and keep the center space of our bodies um, sacred and uh, with vitality, but also with respect as well, you know?
Yes.
So when you ask, when did it start? This womb advocation, it started from my own journey of my own womb clearing.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Wow. What a potent story.
Mhm.
And I mean, just when you were telling me the prayer that you said, I just hope that I'm going to wake up still with my uterus on, it just gave me chills. Like that's so, oof, so powerful because I think we're so disconnected from our bodies and we take them for granted most of the time. And I guess probably when we get to those situations is when we really realize that they are working for us 24/7 and most likely we don't have anything to do, right? And then realizing that, yeah, they are there for a reason and they need respect and they need to be honored. And there are better ways for us to live. We are not unicorns. That's supposed to be the way the body should, between quotes, work if we will know how to treat it properly. And we will have, and if we will have the knowledge on how to do it. And I think one of the things that we missed in our society is having that knowledge about our menstrual cycles that you said. Because
Mhm.
when I was working with the mentorship with you and Sophia in Temple Body Arts, learning about our menstrual cycles, and how women operate in a complete different way of the masculine, it changed my life, literally. So I would like you to talk about the menstrual cycles and how we can actually live with more ease when we connect and honor and respect our body while going through these processes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's not even a trifecta, it's a quadrifecta. If that's even a word. If it's not, I'm
Yes,
making it up. I'm like, we're bringing
sounds
it into
good.
the field. Um, but it's because it involves I like to call it our moon cycles because we are connected to the moon. The feminine is connected to the moon. The masculine is connected to the sun. Sort of like when you see Superman, right? Goes
Mm,
up and he goes to the sun and gets rejuvenated and he's like, boom, he's ready to start. Well, our feminine bodies, we get rejuvenated by the moon, right? By the
yeah.
night sky. Um, and like in the year 13 moons, well, we have our 13, every year we have a 13 moon cycle, right?
Hmm. Yes.
So when we're looking at our moon cycles, and I'm gonna call that from now on, um, when we're looking at our moon cycles and how we flow, this is where the term cyclical living comes through. Because if we honor the energy of the different parts of our cycle, we move in a more harmonious in our rhythm within our bodies. And
Yes.
so the part of the problem that we have with, for example, PMS, and how we can feel completely depleted, or we try to move through our bleeding time, is because we're going against our cycle. Our society very much loves it, and we see it everywhere. um, when we are in our ovulation phase, because this part of the cycle is when our pheromones are like hey, we're kicking. Our body is
Yes.
just like, we're ready. We're just like, we have a partner, just like, come here. We're juicy, we're fertile, and we're expressive. And we're like, yeah, woo, it's good, right? This is the images we most likely will see of a woman, commercially, whatever. That type of energy of a woman, right, is in
Yes.
the ovulation phase. Now I'm going to back up a little bit, but that's what we see. That is what we're expected to be in all the time. And our body's rhythms are not designed that way, to be in that expressiveness all the time. And here's where we run into resistance, with our rhythms and with life, because life is life. If we've all got things going on, work, family, kids, what, all the things, right? And so here's where we get to be a bit radical and revolutionary in this advocacy of like, okay, really understanding those rhythms. So when we bleed, when we go into the bleeding time, which is referred to as winter time, or in the scientifically, that's your menstrual, that's your bleed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, our body in that space, this is where we have the least energy. This is where our body is shedding. We have a natural detox that happens every month. So we have cleanses, we have all these things and whatnot, right? Which they have their place. But our bodies naturally and biologically have a detox every month, which is pretty cool, right? So this is our time where we're designed to go in. We're designed to go internal, and we're designed to rest. Now, when we say, and if we follow that and we say to our job or wherever, our families, and say, mommy is bleeding, this is her time off, we are going to encounter resistance. What do you mean? You understand?
Yeah.
But our bodies are designed to rest at least a couple days, so the body can to shed the tissue, shed the lining, shed the blood, so our bodies can naturally flush itself out. If we're not getting pregnant, this is what is happening, right? And so that is our time to really slow down. Eat warm foods, nourishing foods, lots of minerals, and really and notice the dreams, because our cycles will affect us. Their cycles affect us on the emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental, right? And so we have to honor all of them. We can't just honor one or the other. So the bleeding time, that's when we want to take as much rest as we can, right? Then, so this is where we want to put your feet up, lie down, watch some movies, get takeout, do what you need to do, right? Put people on notice, right? I'm working for, even if you have to work from home, or just tell your spouse or whatnot, I'm not doing anything. My body's resting.
Mm.
Okay. And this is one of the hardest things to do in our, this is the hardest thing for me to do, right? Is to like notice and be like, okay, what's happening? Oh crap. What am I doing? Okay. How am I going to make this fit? It's challenging in our
Yeah.
society,
Yeah.
but it's the most supportive to allow the rest of the cycle to flow smoothly, right?
Yes.
And less pain.
Mm.
Because we're in an epidemic where pain is accepted.
Oh,
It's like,
that's so true.
right?
Shit.
Take a
Yeah.
couple Advil and get on with it.
Why? Yeah. If we
But
would take that time to pause, take a little nap,
yeah,
then you don't need a pill.
yeah.
right?
but we're in this, we have this epidemic of like, okay, well, there's no time to rest. There's no time to, we've got stuff to do. And then we pay for it later.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
so not true. It's just not making the time. The time is there. It's
Mm-hmm.
about prioritizing what we want to do. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, of course, I mean, if we have a 9 to 5 or something, yes, you said probably try to work from home, or another way to sneak in to take it a bit slower during those days that the body really needs the rest. And I think, as you said, it has a lot to do with how society works, and we are so into the doing all the time, and the productivity,
Mm-hmm.
whatever,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mentality, that is like, no, like I have to be active, I not have to do something. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, like I'm at full fault of this, of doing the opposite of what I just said we need to do. And it's been a hard lesson. It's been a hard practice to really integrate, because there was no there was no um there was no example of like to slow down.
Mm.
There just it was like, okay, life doesn't stop. So I don't, so mom, dad don't stop. I gotta, from when I first got my period, I still gotta go to school.
Mm.
There was no stopping.
Yeah.
You would have a tea. I'd have a tea at night and maybe rest or go to bed a little early. But you still went, you still did the things that needed to do. I was an athlete. I remember having to run a track meet, and my period was full on day 2, and I had wicked cramps, and I put on everything under the
Oh.
sun so I didn't have to feel the pain, so I could go and run. That was the mentality that I was in. So then, later, and going deeper into this work, and then getting the guidance really clear. The hardest thing you're going to have to do is to, when you bleed or on certain days of your cycle, sit down and
Mm.
lie down and don't do anything. So this is so vital during our moon time, during the bleeding time.
Mhm.
And that's why the energy is low, because our hormones, everything is shifting in the body, everything is emptying out. Now, when we move on to what we call the follicular phase, or we say connecting to nature, it's spring, right? This is when the energy now starts to rise. This is when, okay, we've shed everything. Now we need energy to build back up, build the lining in our vaginal walls, build the getting ready, because there's a possibility of making a baby, right? So all the resources are now starting to, churn, and the hormones are starting to percolate and get and start to rise again. And then we're starting to get more energy, right? And so spiritually and mentally, we're starting to cook with ideas. Some of the things that came through during the bleeding time, now it's like, okay, I got some energy now. Let's go. We're starting to rev up, and the body is in that spring phase, freshness, like ready to go out. You're not at the peak of like, but it's starting to, right? So
Yes.
that rest period is now, the energy is elevated, right? So spring and summer are the best times. Like I said, summer is like, ovulation. We're
Ovulation, yes.
juicy. We're fertile. We're just like, we're very, we have more energy to be expressive, external, right? So spring and summer, if we're looking at cyclically, this is where you want to be out. This is where you want to make plans. This is where you want to schedule things, because this is where you really want to amp up that creativity. If you've got these ideas that are like ba-bang, 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 get it down. Because I promise you, once you start to get into the luteal phase, it's all gone. And then you're like, I had this great idea. I was like cooking the other day. And now I was like, yeah, later. And then you go back to it and you're like, oh, wait, why am I not so, why I should have, I should have went back. I should have not put that aside because that energy's not there anymore.
Yeah, so
Right.
true.
Yeah, right. So that's what. So if you're a person that likes to work out and run and weights and like go hard, this is your space. This is your space because you've got that energy, right? You can take more fresh fruit and raw and smoothies. You can you can have the food that you have at this time. Your body can take more because it's that fresh summer energy. It's that the energy and the your body is more can adapt to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once the ovulation phase starts to the summer phase, transition into the luteal phase, right? So let's say, okay, summer, you're all cooking and everything, it's great. But no you didn't conceive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then the follicle, the egg starts to disintegrate, starts to go into the lining, and we're getting ready to shed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that luteal phase, here's where the body is now starting to go in again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you may notice you want to have a little bit more sleep in the mornings. Emotions may start to come up because this is a time where anything that needs mentally, physically, that needs to be processed, to really look at. Here's the time where it's really good to do that. So by the time you get to the bleeding time again, your body is flushing that out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is when we want to start to slow down. This is crucial for us to start to slow down, to not be as active as we were in the spring and summer, because the body is now preparing to bleed, right? Conception didn't
Right.
happen. The body's now slowing down. It's a little less energy. Start to integrating those warm foods again.
Mm-hmm.
Castor oil pack on the belly is so beautiful to help
Wow.
prepare the womb to the uterine lining to start to shed, right?
And honor the cravings.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. If we do this right, those cravings will lessen. But if we're not in harmony with our bodies, this is where all the stuff starts to happen, the swelling in the breast, the sugar cravings, the sometimes lashing out if we're not properly processing our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
This is where like the wild can sometimes, if those emotions don't get addressed, then it's like
Yeah.
unfiltered, on burnout, exhaustion. Like there is that messy side to the wild, and
Oh,
so
so
yeah.
it means that's why when they say that we're in a PMS, when we know it's a wild, the wild women coming out, it's really because we're not honoring the whole cycle. If we would really follow accordingly, those symptoms between quotes will not be that explosive or that evident.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, because we're more in harmony
Mm-hmm.
with our body, right?
Yeah.
Like just that alone, like there's more to it of like, what we eat and our environment, the stress levels, and just how we are, the community, uh, you know, things that we clean our house with and all that stuff. But if we're just
Yeah.
looking in action, right, of how to move more into cyclical living, if we just have those principles of
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, when we're bleeding, we're going to start to really just take time to rest and go internal, save the outdoor act, save the gatherings and the get togethers and whatever. Just tell people I'm not available. And that's okay. They'll get over it. You're not available.
Yeah.
Right? You're not available, right? Because this is one of the ways, like, what it does it mean to truly take care of our bodies?
Mm.
There's many factors to that, but as a feminine body, this is how we can start. If we understand just those energetics alone, right, we start to move more into harmonious balance. And
Right.
this paradigm of having painful of the acceptance of debilitating pain in our womb and then being brushed aside and saying, oh, well, that's common for X, Y, and Z, or just take this and hopefully it'll go away. That's that's uh that's the acceptance of, well, this is what women go through. Yeah, we go through it, but we're not supposed to be in so much pain.
Mm. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I see some Instagram videos, and people. There's like a simulator. I don't know who made this, but it's like a simulator that mimics the contraction or the pain that women have either in their cycle when they bleed, or contractions while giving birth.
Oh, the
And
men are putting some
yeah,
devices
yeah,
or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And, you know, and I find it really, I think it was just to demonstrate, like, yo, you think this is easy. Oh, you think you just get over it. You need to really experience and feel what women are experiencing. And then
Hmm.
once they do, they're like, oh, wow, you know,
Yeah.
they go level one. Oh my gosh, what is this? Okay. Then they're like, that's not there yet. We're going to level 10. What? And by level 2, 3, take it off, take it off, take it off. Oh my God, oh my God. It's a real thing. But at the same time, we're not meant to have, labor is labor. Labor is labor.
Hmm.
But during our cycles, we're not supposed to be in so much pain. And
Yeah.
when we have that pain, there's underlying physical, emotional, mental components to that we can address. Um,
Can you mention some of them or the more common ones with the clients that you work with?
um, there's ancestral. There's a lot of ancestral wounds.
Hmm.
Um, there's mother wounds. It's so big. The father relationship. It's a thing, but the mother relationship, it is a big one. People pleasing and martyrdom, like the exhaustion and burnout, the survival mode where there are people have no choice but to do X, Y, and Z. Like if you're
Yeah.
working 10, 12 hours a day, like it's really challenging, and so working with that. So you know uh, the martyrdom of having to do the it's almost like a badge of honor that we celebrate, of like, oh, she can do it all, or you did all of that and
Mm.
get no support. And it's like the no supporters, it's like, wow, you did all that all by yourself, look at you, right? But
Hmm.
that's not really a badge of honor. It's like the person needed support and they
Yes.
had to step up and do it because there was no other choice. You had to make the money to feed your family. You had to do X, Y, and Z, right? And so stress, huge. Stress is a
Wow.
huge one. Um, and self-love, like really what it is to really honor yourself and put yourself first as a priority. It's
Mm-hmm.
not in a, like, we're not talking narcissistic way. We're talking in a
No.
way that, again, what does it mean to truly take care of yourself? Saying yes when it's just like you really shouldn't have, because now you're overextending yourself and you're burnt out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
Exhaustion.
yeah,
Yeah,
filling up our own cups first.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot that has to do with intergenerational trauma. I mentioned
Mm-hmm.
ancestral lineage, because there are energies, stories, experiences in our bodies that aren't ours.
Yeah.
Or they are ours, but at the same time, it's things that have been unknowingly passed on.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, um, I got really curious and also frustrated with when I was initially diagnosed with having fibroids. Uh, I kept hearing that, oh, this is really common for, Black and brown and people of color. And I kept asking, well, why is that?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could give me an answer, right? Nobody in the medical profession could give me an answer. And that bothered me because I'm like, well, what's the difference between me and a Caucasian person? And they're like, we don't know. And I'm like, why don't you know?
Exactly.
Why
Uh,
don't, why isn't there something, and like when I was looking about fibroids, it's like, okay, had to do with, they were saying hormones, estrogen dominance. That was a big thing, a big talk. Or it's just common. You only had a couple of options of, hysterectomy, or like a surgery where they take the uterus out, or there's certain procedures where they take it out by cutting it out, or you just wait it out until menopause, right?
mm,
But if you're wanting to have, if you're wanting to be conceived, and if the fibroids are there, that it can hamper conception. And it can also, depending on where they are, it can interfere with the processes of the kidneys, the liver, the bladder. So I was really curious about why more, why does it affect more Black and brown Indigenous people of color more than our Caucasian counterparts? So I thought about it. Um, And here's my take on this. The way our environments are, because one of the things that is a factor is our cultural upbringing and
okay.
our environment, and we personally go through, what our mother, grandmother, great grandmother, and so forth and so on. What is the environments that they were in? What was the culture? What was, how did they work? How did they live? How did they go through? What was their relationship with their womb? What was, sex, whatever, the relationships and all that.
Yeah.
And and if we look at that from that perspective, we can start to see that even with the science of epigenetics, things live in the body until they are cleared. But we can also um, influence that within ourselves. If I look at, okay, what was the environment like? What was the culture, right? I'm a brown skinned woman, right? History has shown that our lives were were extremely devalued,
Mm,
right? And we were suppressed to the 18th degree. And so life was survival, do or die, comply or die, right? You do what you could for your family so they could eat and survive. You have a little laugh here and there, but life was highly stressful. So here we are in this society where we're like, follow your bliss, follow your dreams, go self-care Mondays and all of these things, right? There was none of that. Right? Our ancestors would be laughing at it, be like, huh, okay, great. That's not how we lived. Right? So there was a huge amount of stress. There's a huge amount of emotional, physical, and mental violence. There was a huge amount of trauma on the body, right? Now, when we look at also how the intimate practice of gynecology came about, the foundation of gynecology was based on the extreme, gross trauma and violation of young Black and Indigenous girls. I don't say women, girls, because these girls were just under 18 years old, between 16, 17, and 18, the ones that we know of, right? And so their bodies were put through experiments without anesthesia. There was no anesthesia, whatever, and procedures where they cut into the womb and multiple times to figure out how to do these procedures. And then they did these procedures on Caucasian women with an anesthetic, with whatever pain relieving medicine, right? So you have that imprint in the body, right? You have that imprint in the body. You have that imprint of generations of women having to give birth, or having having gross mispractices on their bodies just based on the color of their skin and the inferiority conditioning that was placed upon them. So when you have all of that,
my God, I'm in shock.
right,
Yeah.
in the cells, in the DNA, right, you can now start to see the pattern. We are still in a space of, yes, we've evolved a bit, but we're still in this space where Black and brown bodies are still having to deal with huge amounts of stress, survival in a different way. It's evolved. We're in a space now that we can unpack this. We can unpack this and really start to look at, okay, what are we doing right now? Right? What are we doing right now? How are we living? How are we repeating what our ancestor, what our lineage was doing, they were surrounded with? Are we getting the care that we have access to? And so those are some of the factors that that's my theory. It's not the be all and end all. That's in my investigation. I'm like, we have these are these factors that have contributed, to X, Y, and Z. Right? And so how can we give ourselves the safety? Not somebody else giving ourselves the safety. How can we give ourselves the safety of really nourishing and honoring our bodies and moving in a harmonious rhythm that supports our bodies, that supports our wombs, that supports our creativity, that supports like va 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 voom, and also supports our existence. Right? This is what it means to create your path to power, because when we understand and know these resources that are there, there is more empowerment there. So when we can tune into our bodies and be like, okay, things are happening. What's going on? All right, I need this tea. Oh, I need to take a couple days off here. oh, I know my period's coming. Okay, I'm gonna get some more castor oil. Oh, this is happening. Okay, what's the date? Okay, yes, I'm in this phase, right? This part of my moon cycle. Perfect. Yeah, let's go out on that day. Thing. And then it happens kind of it's subtle,
Mhm.
but things start to move in a more cohesive way.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it makes the difference because then we give us, I mean, the inner critic is so harsh in our heads that when we realize, okay, this is happening in my body, it's like, okay, I'm in this part of my moon cycle. And then when we get to honor it and say, okay, I'm about to bleed, and then giving ourselves that permission, that grace to, okay, I am feeling this way and I want to do this or that because of where I am at this moment in my moon. As you said, there is more flow and ease, and life gets better because we change the relationship with ourselves, we change the relationship with our bodies.
Yeah, and even like if a person is in a season when they're not bleeding, um, the what I've been taught is that when we're not bleeding and we're in that wise woman season, you know, um, is that you follow it by the seasons of the moon. So the new, the
Okay.
darkest time, that's one can follow that, and acclimatize to that. We can acclimatize and shift our cycle to the seasons, to the light and darkness of the moon.
Mm,
But if
yeah.
there's like a marker, especially those who are in menopause or just not bleeding anymore, that is where you can like one can tune into, is like really paying attention to the seasons of the moon.
Okay, so what do you mean, like when it's full moon, then we're gonna relate to the summertime?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because it's light, it's
Yeah, it's
full,
light. Yeah.
it's bright. We're celebrating. We're like, there's more energy. You notice that the full moon is just like full moon. Let's go, yeah.
Yeah.
you
So much
And then
energy.
also, there's a lot that's going on energetically. Kids are just wired up, on the full moon, and there's a lot of energy, right? And then
Hmm.
when it starts to descend, it's just like, all right, here we go. Well, not
Hmm.
descend, but the light starts to gently start to transition to the new moon. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. I would like to ask you, you talk about this at the very beginning. How can we gain the sovereignty of our womb space?
I I think it's the expression. It's just standing our ground and not being afraid to talk about, certain things. Especially, our for example, the time that we bleed. It's very hidden, right?
Mm, yes.
It's held in judgment. It's held, well, not judgment. It's held in, like, you don't talk about it. It's held
Yeah,
in
in
like
shame.
shame, or it's like, don't let people know, you know,
Yes.
about it. Like, hide your tampon, hide your pad, or whatnot. Don't tell anybody that you're bleeding. Keep yourself clean. It's like the shame of like, oh, you're messy now. I'm not touching you. I was like, who said I wanted you to touch me? No, but it's like all of a sudden it's like, you're bleeding. Okay, get away from me. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
like just even shifting the conversation of like, this is such a potent time for a girl, for a woman, that should be able our girls should be able to talk about it freely,
Mm,
with their friends or their mother or even with their father, and not
yeah.
feel like, oh, you're a guy, I can't talk to you about this.
Yeah.
We should be able to have that support, you know,
Hmm.
uh, and that sovereignty as well of like, let's say a person um, wants to conceive or not to conceive.
Mm.
They under once when someone understands, okay, the processes of their bodies, um, as to like, okay, this is the biology, this is the science of like when the temperature of the body, when like when we're so attuned to our cycles, like when you're gonna ovulate, or you can feel it, or you can or you can track it, right? There's that is power, that is
It
sovereignty,
is.
right? Right. Because okay, I know when I'm fertile, juiced up, yeah, let's get it, right? And then that on the other times you're not. You just biologically you won't be conceiving a child. So if for those that are really concerned about like, okay, I don't want to get pregnant. Okay, great. Then know the cycles of know your body, right? That is autonomy. That is power for
Hmm.
yourself. Than somebody else telling you um, what is going on in your own body. Yes, we need that allopathic support, for tests and things like that. But
Yeah.
we also, it's really powerful to know intimately, where you are in your cycle, and where um, like knowing even the nectar from our yonis, like even understanding like okay, the smell, the consistency, the um that where you are,
Yeah.
that's power, you know to understand, just even understanding one's energy, right? And knowing when you're the most creative, knowing where you need to take time to rest. You just know it. You're not as productive. So X, Y, and Z, right? Knowing what turns you on, what makes you juicy, what makes you like just very plump and just like, yes, understanding and harnessing the energetics of your connection to the land, to the plants, to the herbs, to the feminine masculine systems of the earth. You know, um, this is knowledge that was systematically taken away from us,
Mm.
or they tried to take it away from us.
Yeah.
But this is systematic knowledge that has been reduced to certain ways of talking and expressing about the feminine body. There is still so much in the medical field that has not been researched or done properly on the feminine body. But yet we have so much on our male counterparts,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
the more that we know and we understand our bodies, this is body sovereignty. This is really it is really revolutionary in
Hmm.
itself when you see people with the feminist way, we're like women, we're awesome and everything. Yeah, I mean, it is radical to keep to, I'm taking a day off because I'm bleeding, I'm at my
Hmm.
heaviest, I'm taking the day off. And
Yeah.
you want to see how much ridicule. I already saw it in, I think, I don't know where in the world, but they put it in a corporate policy that women can have flex day off when they bleed. And then the amount of just disgusting comments from people rejecting the idea, is just baffling.
Hmm. And I guess that includes women, because if we don't have that culture, if we don't have the knowledge, we're going to keep rejecting it until we don't know and we don't experiment it.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So we are being revolutionary in advocating for the care of our bodies and of our womb space.
Mm-hmm.
It is revolutionary and it is life-changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the practices that you offer to women to connect back to our womb?
Um, my practice is largely movement based because of my dance background. Um, I was a professional dancer for a good while, a good chunk of my professional career, and dance has always been there. So the embodiment piece, the dance piece, is huge because this is where we really get to connect and move the energy, move our bodies, and unearth um, uh, uh, traumas or emotional responses using the voice. Really, like letting the voice, the vocal activation is really powerful because a lot of the times things are, energy is stuck here, and when they're
In our
stuck here,
throats.
they're stuck in our yonis. They are connected, right?
Yeah.
So vocal or activation, being able to say the things that maybe we weren't able to say or restricted, or then we all feel it, that contraction in our throat, and we're like, okay, and it's like if you're contracted here, you're contracted there, right? There's no safety. There's no safety to say what we want to say. And so, that practice of like, okay, this is a space that we are creating together. What needs to be said? What sound that needs to come out? Um, and so there's dance, there's breath, there's vocal activation, breath work,
Mhm.
um, just that breath, because again, we're moving energy, right?
Yes.
The body is not designed to hold in stuff. This is part of what of this ease comes from, because but yes, there's the physical, but we're holding emotional, right?
Mm.
So we've got to get that energy to flow, right? And so we got to move the body, right? We notice it when we go to the gym or we run or we're in one state, and and then we run and we go, and then all of a sudden we're emptied out. We're just like, okay, we flush it out. We're sweating. We're like, oh my gosh, but the mind is clear, right?
Mhm.
So dance does that, right? Dance allows us to access those emotions, to let it go, to say fuck you to whoever, to allow things to get unleashed, so we can cry, we can get angry, we can get sacred rage and bang a pillow and get those emotions out, right? Because we can lie down, yes, absolutely, it's great. But the energy needs to move, and so that's a big part of my resource tool belt
Mhm.
is movement, breath work, breathing, really getting just helping to process and alchemize that energy, and sound. Also, so that's on the embodiment side.
Yeah.
Um, we do spirit journeys, where we really go into the ancestral line, and really look at, okay, where did the root of these things, root patterns, come from, right? And it's an investigative, process. And so we get the lineage and the spiritual component, to really work with and harness that faculty. We also look at the tangible resources that can help to support the womb. Yoni steaming, or what is it called, also called vaginal steaming, where you use
Mm.
medicinal herbs from the earth, specific plants that help to nourish, tonify, and give harmony and balance to the womb
Mm.
with beautiful warming steam, to help really bring back balance to the womb space. So it supports the processes of the womb and of the yoni and the uterus. So yoni steaming. I mentioned castor oil pack. Castor oil during the luteal phase is fabulous. like I'm mystified at how
Oh,
this plant, the oil
well,
works, but it really does help the liver. It helps to
okay.
detoxify,
Is it
and you
the
can,
one that is put in the belly button
well, you
at
can put
night
it on
or?
the belly button, or you can put it on your organs, your kidneys, your liver, your
Okay.
spleen, and that oil just gets in and it helps to detoxify. It helps to
Hmm.
flush things out. So, you get
Okay.
up in the morning, the next day you have a good elimination. And, the castor oil really helps that. So it really helps to detoxify. So when there's excess hormones, it really helps to, flush that out. And we need the kidneys, we need the liver to be optimal to help to bring things to give it support so it can can bring more harmony into the body. So castor
Mm,
oil is great
yeah.
for that.
Johnny eggs. I used the Johnny egg for a long time when I started my process of healing, and that definitely helped me. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was a rose quartz.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's really powerful. It's not really my area expertise. Our dear sister Sabrina Vedetti is like queen
Oh yeah,
on
she's the queen of it.
gems. She's actually been my teacher and also in yoni steaming, and her sister Ariel is very knowledgeable in, and she's a clinical herbalist and really helped to bring the knowledge of herbs, and just like even to like understanding how they support the body. And so the other resource that we have is medicinal herbs, teas, right?
Mm,
Like if you were to have three herbs to start a relationship with. um stinging nettle. Stinging nettle is a mineral powerhouse for the entire body, but it is so supportive to the womb space.
okay.
Red raspberry, it helps the flow, it helps to nourish the blood. It helps to tonify the yoni, the uterus. It is so, and it also it's also mineral rich. It's very, very potent. Um, oh gosh, what was the other one now? Um, I was saying to a sister, I said my herbs are taking over my pantry, just because I'm building up such a library of herbs.
Yeah.
Um, oh, hibiscus.
Oh, okay.
Hibiscus is such a beautiful, nourishing herb for the body. And it's funny. I remember, like if you're in the Caribbean, there's a plant we call sorrel, and it's another variation of hibiscus, right? And hibiscus is red, right? Plants have signatures. So here's this red plant. Red is associated with the blood,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
So we would drink this all the time, especially when we go visit, because I was born in Canada, but my background is in the Caribbean. But when every time we visit there and we go, we'd have, I couldn't wait to have sorrel, and it was with
Yeah.
sugar and cinnamon and orange and whatever. Sometimes it was carbonate. It's just like, yum. I never knew that it was a variation of hibiscus.
Okay.
We drink this thing all the time. I'm like, wow, this is part of the medicine that we get from our families, from our lineage, right?
Hmm.
This is the plant medicine, right? So hibiscus is beautiful for the blood, right? Red clover is beautiful for the blood as well to really help. But I said three, and I'm gonna just highlight nettles and red raspberry.
Okay.
If to even just, these are beautiful herbs to start with. There are so many other herbs that
Hmm.
really support the body, but these are like you can't go wrong unless a person is taking medication and things, and is always want to be aware of like any contradictions with herbs.
Hmm.
But these two are like the powerhouses that one can get started with.
Mm. Yes.
With the discernment of making sure it doesn't interfere if person is taking prescription meds or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. Wow. Well, that's a whole package of practices that we can do. Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, I was taking notes, and I'm sure whoever is listening is also taking notes, because this is very, very powerful, and
Mm-hmm.
it is needed. It is needed for women to connect back to our wombs. It is needed to come back to that energy of our womb that is part of our body, because we have been fragmented. The womb and the heart is there and the mind is there. No, we are one. Our body, it has all these elements that it's about putting that wholeness together. And by honoring our wombs, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a life changer. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It completely is. It's a game changer when we really honor that. Um, when we honor it, because you really get to tune into your body, and when you do that, like I notice in myself, I do feel it. I feel it when I know I'm about to bleed. I feel my energy going, whoa, and
Mhm.
I feel that rise, and when spring and summer season comes through, and
Mhm.
like it just like even just being able to when uh, like intimacy just becomes even more like woohoo. You really like things start to it's subtle, but you start to really notice like how your body energies respond when you're in certain parts of your cycle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so beautiful. Yeah. So yummy. So yeah, to our listeners, if you're a man, now you know more. And if you're a woman, please start. Yeah, I mean, don't take this information for granted, because it can change your life. I mean, I'm a witness of that. And yeah. So Nicole,
Yeah.
before you can share what can people find you, would you like to add something else to this conversation?
Oh yeah, and just to piggyback on the men piece, and like these are healthy conversations that we need to have with our men, with our boys, our sons,
Oh, yes.
others, like especially young girls that are just having their cycles. They need to be comfortable with talking to dad about this. And dad, even though you and our fathers need to be, it may not be the most comfortable thing for them to talk about, but at the same time, it's like they need that support just as much, that nourishing support. I keep saying nourish, but it is that loving support where they don't feel shame. They don't feel that judgment of be like, you just ask. I'm
Yes.
not a girl, but I'm here for you. That
Hmm.
is gold.
Yeah.
It really is gold for them to feel comfortable to say, "Daddy, I need a tampon, or I need a pad right
Hmm.
now." That just those little things is just really, really, really valuable. So yeah, dads, men don't sleep on this conversation either, because
Yeah.
it's good for you. You
Yeah.
need to get comfortable with it. Especially if like a guy is brought up with like 4 or 5 sisters. I'm like, well, you know.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. No, but then also for women to understand, yeah, this is your cycle. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing. Just
Yeah.
get the knowledge, know yourself, connect to your body. Because the truth is, the wisdom of the body is infinite.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just wanted to just bring that out there before I forgot. But yeah, you can find me on my website, www.thegoddessmoves.space.
Okay.
Yes, dot space.
Okay.
Like that. Um, and yeah, I'm on. socials, Instagram and Facebook is where I'm most frequent. And so you can just direct message me or send me an email if you'd like to connect. And so, yeah, those are the places you can find me.
Okay, I will put them on the show notes so people can just click directly in there. And two last questions. How would you call this stage of your life, of your midlife?
Ripe. like a good like a good mango. Right.
I love that.
Yeah, like a good mango. I'm ripe. I'm not, and it's not like, oh, ripe and then you're gonna go down. No, and just like it's like it's that perfect state of a mango where it's just the right amount of sweetness. You dig into it and it's just like juicy. It's perfect. You just sit down you sit down outside on the front porch and you got your napkin and whatever and you dig in and it's like, yes.
Oh my God, my mouth is watering now. Oh, good.
It's just like, I remember Michael Jackson saying, I'm just getting started. Like, let's go. Yeah. There's just, it's that type of energy.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. And what's a pleasure you enjoy the most?
Oh, the same thing.
I was thinking, actually, I thought about that. It's probably gonna be the same thing.
Oh gosh, one thing I enjoy the most.
Besides dancing, because of course you're the goddess moves.
Yeah. I think, those moments where it's just like, oh, it's good. Like, life is good right now. Like in this moment, it's like you're just looking around and like, is this my life right now? Like,
yes. The glimmers of life. They call them glimmers.
There's just so many, like when you're I notice those happens like when I'm with when I'm with other women and we're just doing stuff, or I'm, with a group of people, or having food, music is on, or outside at a outdoor music festival or it's just simple things, sitting on a patio, having, just having a nice drink and some good food and just having good conversation, It's just those moments. And like, let's say the weather is just like, the weather is perfect and, it's just the perfect amount of heat. The sun is setting and, it's just a good night or a good day. And you're just like, man, this life is good right now. I love those moments, I love those moments.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for this amazing conversation, Nicole, for sharing your wisdom, your presence, your beauty, your energy. I am so grateful to have you here. And yes, much love to you.
Thank you, Kenna. Blessings and all that you're doing and all that people are receiving in this podcast. I hope you all that are listening and watching really enjoyed it. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning into Midlife Butterfly. If this episode lit a spark in you, hit that subscribe or follow button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you love to listen, so you'll never miss the magic. If you're feeling generous, drop a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps this empowering content reach more souls ready to transform their lives. And don't forget to take a photo of you while listening and share it on your socials. You can tag me at KenasYou so I can celebrate you and your expansion. Until next time, keep spreading those wings and living in joy, growth, and pleasure.